2025 FIFA Club World Cup is officially underway. 32 teams from 6 different continents, all hoping they can lift the trophy on the 13th of July. Some people like the idea of a revamped tournament involving the best club sides from around the world, and others are in opposition to it. There are certainly pros and cons to it, and ultimately the question that journalists and fans alike have going into the month-long event is this: is the new FIFA Club World Cup format actually good for football? Well, yes and no. The answer is complicated. Let me explain. First, let's go into the no argument because there's quite a lot of substance to it, and we will start by going back in time 6 years. One of Gianni Infantino's associates is Arsene Wenger, former Arsenal coach for 2 decades, who became the chief of global development of FIFA in November 2019. 2 years later, and prior to the 2022 FIFA World Cup, he proposed the idea that the World Cup should be held every 2 years instead of every 4. Despite the 25-day rest period that Wenger stated would be given to the players after the World Cup comes to an end, it would have been a logistical nightmare for the domestic league and cup tournaments around the world, and then the continental competition and international schedules. The World Cup qualifiers would be less competitive because the groups would have to be made much smaller for a qualifying cycle that only lasts 1 year, if not less than that. The European Championship and AFCON would not have their own distinct qualifying cycles. They'd be forced to play in the years the World Cup is not held, and like the AFC, would have to merge their continental qualifiers into the World Cup qualifiers, and the UEFA Nations League, which does not tie into the World Cup qualifiers as much as it does the European Championship qualifiers, would need to be completely abandoned because it is just not possible to host it with World Cup qualifiers every other year. Add in the impact that it would have on the players to be going through 11 months and over 50 matches in total during that span, with training time between matches limited, as well as the fact that it would draw away attention from women's football, the Women's World Cup, as well as the under 20 and under 18 tournaments. It just did not make sense. Just like the idea of the European Super League, which was also met with intense backlash, the idea did not go anywhere at that point. Arsene Wenger stated a year later that it's not feasibly possible to do it because of the calendar issue, and the fact that everything would need to be revised. Before Wenger even discussed the idea of a World Cup every 2 years, before he even got the position with FIFA, Infantino himself had already announced an expanded Club World Cup set to take place in June and July of 2021. Due to COVID-19 and the impact that it had on China, that obviously did not take place. The summer had the European Championship and Copa America tournaments that were postponed due to the pandemic, and the regular 6-team Club World Cup format was used in Qatar and the UAE in 2021 and 2022. But Infantino did not give up on his plan to make a World Cup with more than just the continental champions. He decided to make it even larger than 24 teams, expanding it to 32 and setting the destination as the United States for the summer of 2025, when the Confederations Cup would have once been held as a test of the venues. One of the main drivers for FIFA in expanding this tournament is, of course, money. I mean, it's not a secret. Money has been at the heart of FIFA's goals for decades, not just under Infantino, but under multiple presidents before him. Money is the thing that makes the football world go round. It is the thing that has made FIFA the global powerhouse that it is. It is the thing that has damaged FIFA's reputation as a global powerhouse to some degree, and it is the thing that FIFA executives have also used to rebuild the association's reputation, as well as their own, to some degree. And it is safe to say that went well. But coming back to today, FIFA was expecting fans to come to the United States and for Americans to be invested in this. After all, European teams and teams from around the world would play preseason friendlies, such as the International Champions Cup in the United States, and those matches saw crowds thanks to decent marketing strategies. So why not a tournament that has some sort of history, albeit 25 years of it? Matches that mean something. Well, for starters, it's the United States, not a football country. American football, baseball, basketball, and in some areas ice hockey are placed above football, even if Major League Soccer is starting to attract fans in droves due to the next generation of veterans arriving, including Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, and the generation of Barcelona players that were once kings of Europe. When your sport is behind 4 others, then sure, the World Cup next year will attract audiences, but you cannot quite expect any other month-long tournament to when most American sports fans and American sports media are more interested in the off-season news in the NFL or Tom Brady's haircut compared to a match between Ulsan HD and Mamelodi Sundowns, for example. Club World Cup ticket prices have been dropping over the last few months because the tournament of the summer that Infantino was expecting is not reaching the desired audience. Thus, the revenue estimate that FIFA was hoping for is not quite there. The lowest prices for tickets to the opening match between Messi's Inter Miami and Al Ahly were once at $349. Now, $72, with Monday's match between Boca Juniors and Benfica, 2 quality teams in their respective continents even dropping to as low as $39, and other matches even dropping lower than that to the $25 range. It would cost you more for your gas tank to travel by car or for your plane ticket than to attend one of the matches at this tournament, let's put it that way. North America hosting this tournament also creates problems for CONCACAF, who cannot host their continental tournament, the Gold Cup, in the eastern part of the United States and will completely lose the American football fan base in that time zone due to hosting matches that start 10 in the evening. Whether it is yet another final between the United States and Mexico, or not, since we're seeing the rise of countries like Canada at an international football level, plus Pochettino's recent results with the American team have been brutal, and the top players do not want to play, CONCACAF will still be losing a major audience as a result of this. Players themselves are not keen on it either, for the exact same reason as hosting a World Cup every 2 years. When you have your league, your cup tournament, your other cup tournament, your Super Cup, European competition, the March, June, September, October, November international windows, should there not be a break somewhere in between? Athletes are humans as well, and while yes, there is off-season training to keep in shape, a vacation is needed, like with any job. Football is a risky sport in a way. Play too much and you get injured, and the more you get injured, the worse that injury becomes over time. Because of the intense schedules, injuries are increasing, and this only makes it worse. The clubs participating in them are risking losing a large portion of their squads throughout the early part of the season. Footballers in some of the top leagues used to have 2 summers off, and that helped them to recover both physically and mentally. Now for some of them, they'll have just one during the years of the FIFA Women's World Cup, which will happen again in 2027, and after that, 2031. After the Club World Cup is over, preseason begins in late July, and then the main season begins in the middle of August. FIFPro, the main union of professional football players, evaluated this issue and then filed legal action against FIFA, citing that it violates the rights of players and the unions of those players, such as FIFPro itself. There's also the fact that Inter Miami was invited to the Club World Cup without reasonably qualifying for it. Every other team had a reason to be there, whether it was winning their Champions League or being eligible through their 4-year continental ranking. Inter Miami won the MLS Supporters Shield, sure, but the MLS Supporters Shield is not the be-all and end-all of Major League Soccer. Typically, the team that takes priority would be the MLS Cup champions, because Major League Soccer has a knockout stage, just like any other North American major league. It does not end at a regular season. Fans cite Inter Miami being selected over LA Galaxy because they have Messi and all these veterans from Barcelona and the top European leagues that can bring in revenue. We will never know how LA Galaxy will fare in the tournament after what has been a disastrous title defense at the league level, but at least they should have been the ones to qualify for that US spot if the CONCACAF Champions Cup title was not theirs at any point in the last 4 years. Now to the yes side of the argument as to whether the Club World Cup is good for football, there is a development aspect to it. This development may not be seen now, but maybe in the future, and whether it will work or will be a complete failure in the end is a question that can only be answered in the decades to come. Just like the FIFA World Cup itself, only teams from UEFA and CONMEBOL have won the tournament in its 20 editions, and with the amount of UEFA teams in the competition, 12 out of 32, the chances are the quarterfinal stage onward will basically become the Champions League all over again. But we also know that there are continents like CONMEBOL who have teams that can quickly reach that level. Teams like Boca Juniors, River Plate, Flamengo, teams that will not give you an inch of space when on the defense. And then there are other continents like the AFC that could have top level success in the next 10 years with a 32-team tournament, especially given the talent they have been acquiring through the transfer market and the after effects of hosting a World Cup in 2034. Even Auckland City FC and the OFC could benefit from this, getting to face Bayern, Benfica, and Boca Juniors, gaining valuable experience from it. It would not be surprising if this tournament happens in, say, 2041 and 7 of the 8 quarterfinalists are UEFA sides, but maybe we see a team from CONMEBOL, from AFC, from another continent make a deep run in this campaign, giving these sides an opportunity to face some of the most elite from around the world. Under one international club calendar, not 6 different continental calendars, allows them to experiment and for the sport to grow at the club level overall. One of Infantino's main reasons for expanding the tournament was exactly this, to one day have at least 50 clubs from all continents at a top competitive level. It's a fair argument, maybe the leagues develop as a result, you never know. The development aspect does not just tie into the teams, but into the players. For the larger scale teams, they might also have the opportunity, like in friendly matches, to field academy players, the players that will define their club in the near future, or if not, can go to another club for a large profit. If they can bring a mix of academy players and veterans who can give the academy players tips for the full 90 minutes, that'd be very valuable for both the player and the club in the years ahead. It can fast track the development of players the club thinks are ready to play in the top tier, whether temporarily or permanently. For some players in the smaller leagues who might have been overlooked or not even given a fair chance because of the competitiveness of the league they were playing in and the teams they were playing on a regular basis, this could be their opportunity to impress scouts, to move on to larger scale teams or increase their value at least, something they probably would not have had without the Club World Cup shifting to this format. Of course, they would want to play. While for some, it could be rough on them because of scheduling, for others, this is a huge chance to show what they've got, not just to their club, but to the entire football world as well. There is a way that teams can resolve the possible injury crises that could plague them in August, and that is to field the players that would be happy to develop. Do not field every player in your best 11 all at once, especially during the group phase. The new format also gives the Club World Cup more of a purpose in a way, especially if the tournament becomes a huge success and draws excitement for 2029. It'll be interesting to see if there is increased interest now that FIFA has decided to bring it to the forefront, as opposed to a tournament that's been kind of in the background for 25 years, especially after it moved away from Japan more regularly. It has taken quite a bit of marketing to drive home the importance of the concept to American and international audiences, plus a $1 billion deal with DAZN to broadcast the matches worldwide, free of charge. Gianni Infantino is so confident that revamping the Club World Cup will be the new concept that defines his career, the one that fixes his image as FIFA president after a disastrous line of controversies that surrounded the 2022 World Cup and a very poor response to them. As a matter of fact, he's so confident about it that he engraved his name on the new trophy twice. But with the pros and cons associated with these 63 matches, we can only wait and see if this was positive for his public image, if this was worth it. That is it for this video. If you liked it, then give it a like, and if you loved it, please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. I'll try and post more videos in the next 3 months, since I'll be very busy from September onward with the final year of my sport management program. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Do you like the idea of the Club World Cup? Do you oppose it? Pros and cons of the tournament that I did not mention here, and will you watch or follow it? Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Today I feel tired.